Hello friends, welcome back to my tiny kitchen. I am Quintana, here with another recipe for you this week, and I'm back at it, back making recipes that I've never made before in front of people for the first time. So this week I decided to go with a recipe I found on a website called lifeisbutadish.com. I'll put it right there for you. And it just sounded so good, and it's grapefruit yogurt cake. And grapefruits are in season right now, and I don't know, something spoke to me about the recipe, so I decided I want to make it, so let's go. All right, friends, it's time for the parade of ingredients for our grapefruit yogurt cake. We have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, followed by 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 1 1/3 cup of sugar, or I'm using monk fruit sugar, 3 eggs, 2 teaspoons of grapefruit zest, it said from 1 grapefruit, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and 1/3 cup of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. That's why I have 2 grapefruits, just in case. Okay, so first things first, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and the recipe said to spray a loaf pan with baking spray. And you learn something new every day, because I didn't know cooking spray and baking spray are 2 different things. Baking spray is cooking spray with a little bit of flour, which makes sense. So what I did was just spray a little bit of cooking spray and then lightly dusted my bread pan with flour, and I'm going to set it aside while we prepare everything else. Okay, so now we're going to sift the flour, 1.5 cups of flour. So I'm going to do this 1/2 cup at a time. And we're also going to sift the baking powder and salt. You could do it, buddies. These are just going to go in. Okay, next we are going to mix all the wet ingredients and 1 cup of sugar in another bowl, a separate bowl. And I'm using my stand mixer bowl, but I'm going to do this by hand, believe it or don't. So we're going to add the yogurt, the sugar, the eggs, the grapefruit zest, easy for me to say, and the vanilla, and we're going to whisk that all together. So let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to add our yogurt. One cup of sugar, monk fruit sugar, our 3 eggs, the grapefruit zest, oh, it smells so good, and the vanilla. Now we're just going to whisk this together. And now we are going to slowly whisk the dry ingredients into these wet ingredients. Wish me luck. Okay, and then finally it's asking us to whisk the vegetable oil. Sorry, not whisk. Fold it in, David. Fold in the vegetable oil. So, okay. Okay, it said fold it in until it's well incorporated, and it seems well incorporated to me, so we're going to move on to the next step, which is to dump this in the prepared loaf pan. So let's do that. I'm going to shake it out a little and rub it down, make it look a little bit more like a loaf than it does right now. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to bake this at 350 for about 50 minutes. See you on the flip side. Okay, so I have my bread in the oven, my loaf in the oven, and it's still got about 11-ish minutes left. So now I'm going to make the, I guess, like syrup that we're gonna soak into the bread. So I've got 1/3 of a cup of fresh squeezed grape juice. It smells so good. And isn't it so pretty? I don't know if you can tell, but it's really, really pretty. So 1/3 of a cup of fresh squeezed grape juice and 1/3 of a cup of monk fruit sugar. So what we're going to do is just heat this on the stove, a burner, until the sugar dissolves, and then we're going to set it aside until the bread is done. There she is after 50 minutes baking in the oven, my first grapefruit yogurt loaf. It smells so good, you guys. Now our next step is to let this cool for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it out onto a baking rack over or a cooling rack, yeah, over a baking sheet. There we go. See you in 10. All right, it's been cooling for 10 minutes in the pan. I just took it out and put it on the baking rack. And now we are going to drizzle the syrup over it and let it soak in. So let's get on that. All right, and now we're gonna let it cool. There's our first slice of grapefruit yogurt cake, ready to be taste tested by our favorite taste tester, Dan.
I'm ready for this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's soft and moist and tangy and citrusy and delicious with a little sugar crust. This is so good.
Yay,
I could eat this any time of year.
Oh, good. Yay, it turned out. I'm so happy. I'm not gonna lie, I did try a little bit myself. It was delicious. So please let me know if you try this yourself, what you think of it. Also, if you have any ideas for recipes you'd like me to try, let me know. I'm loving trying things for the first time, apparently. So thank you again for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends and spread the word. And I will see you next week.